Steelers win, you know the big question, and I posed this on social media today. Do you feel the same or different about Matt Canada? Because I think that's the biggest question today in Steelerville. How do you feel?
I feel the same. I feel the exact same. I think that the result will preclude him being replaced at this point. Because really, the collateral damage to that might be greater than any potential improvement. I think they've proven that they can win. I think that it doesn't have to be that hard
Mhm.
as they've made it to win. And I do think that if you had a completely different coordinator, I think the dynamic of the team would change a lot. I think you'd be seeing people. We have the people, in my opinion. I think we have the people. It's how we use those people that is always suspect. And so I look at that. I still don't understand if Najee's this great guy. Why do we take him out on third down? I don't get that. I saw a couple times we didn't, but I mean, yeah, Jalen Warren's great back, but I mean, I got a 240-pound beast, and I should be using him until it works, basically.
I feel good about the result. I don't feel much different about the process.
Yeah,
Like
good way.
I guess that's kind of where I am with it. I don't know. I wonder how good of a team the Raiders are. Like I can't. I would be hypocritical if I sat here on Monday morning or any morning after a Steelers win and complain too much because I always say a win is a win is a win and how hard they are in the National Football League.
Yeah,
But I just wonder how that methodology and what they're using right now is going to lead to too much success or much success against true good teams.
well, Kenny Pickett can throw the football.
Yeah.
He can. A couple of the plays that I saw him miss were clearly on the receiver end. They were on different pages. Number 83. No, by the way, let's bring in number 83 and let him run a third down play for us. That's really, really unbelievable.
Matt Canada is master of asking what time it is and him telling you how to build a watch.
Just crazy to me.
It is.
But then I saw him also on an out route. He went to the left. The ball went to the right. Something was clearly miscommunicated there. And I think a lot of anything on the downside you could say about Kenny, I think a lot of it seems to be in the communication where he may not be on the same page as the receivers. And I will say, I think he is on the right page. I'm not sure they have been because I know how hard he worked and I know how hard he studied.
Well, I just think sometimes they make it from a process again too complicated. And it could be very simple. Like we saw George Pickens, we've seen him now 2 or 3 times this season go across the middle. Every time they get big yardage.
Every time.
Every time it's there. Every time they run play action, Richard, and freeze the linebackers and fake the handoff in the middle, it is wide open down the field, and he has a big enough arm he can make that throw. Every single time, it feels like. It feels as if Matt Canada just wants to use a big process when it doesn't have to be a big process. He can kill him with simplicity if he wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the idea of establishing the Pittsburgh Steelers ground game. I really like that idea because it opens up. People say, the run can open the pass can open up the run also.
Mm-hmm.
You continue to throw the short, and Jimmy G shouldn't have lost that game. He really is a good quarterback, I think.
I think he's pretty good. I think we see how good TJ Watt is. TJ Watt he's one of the most dominating forces in football.
He is, and I always go back to this when somebody in Mike Tomlin's press conference, what do you think of TJ Watt? And he looked at the reporter so earnestly and said, TJ Watt, man, he's from a different planet.
Yeah, he's an alien. Yeah.
He's an alien. Yeah, I mean, Mike said that. And then the funny thing is seeing the broadcast last night, I saw the announcers alluded to the fact that his brother sent somebody a text or posted it that TJ Watt is from outer space. And I thought that was pretty similar to what Mike Tomlin said. And he is. I mean, the guy is he's so real, so down to earth. I mean, the guy just loves to play football. I'll tell you who would be my second pick, though.
Who?
I would tell you if I could put both these guys on the edge. Well, I like our guys. I wouldn't take out Highsmith either. But the guy for Raiders last night, what's his name? Crosby.
Oh,
He's a beast.
he's just a step behind Watt if he's not right there with him.
I think he's a step behind him, but that would be my all-star team. I'd put those two on the edge and pray for the guy in the middle somewhere because those guys would crush it.
You know, we get jaded so often in watching sports and doing things. And this is something I wanted to touch on. I'm glad you went there. We get jaded so often, and sometimes we live in a world with the social media and everything moves so fast. I thought it was a genuine appreciation of greatness when those two gentlemen shook hands and hugged last night.
At the end of the game, yes. And they exchanged pleasantries, it seemed like. Yes, I saw that too, and I loved that they did that. It was a mutual respect for each other, and I loved that. Did you see him getting Kenny Pickett's face when it should have been called, but
right.
He was like, "No, dude, no."
Well, have I warmed you yet to, Najee Harris, 19 rushes for 65 yards, Jaylen Warren, 8 for 29. So essentially, Jaylen Warren got about half the carries, and they were both Jaylen Warren was like 3.6 yards, Najee was 3.4. Have I warmed you to a 50-50 split yet? Are you there, or are they doing things right in the run game?
I'm not there to a 50-50 split because I think to establish what we want to establish, it needs to be more consistent. And I think that's the biggest problem. I think the consistency and like I said, run the ball till you can. Doesn't matter if first and second down. Third down, come right back at it because he is a beast. And I mean, he really is. And I mean that in all the right ways. 240 pounds and he's like a solid rock. I mean, I saw him pick up a guy and push him out of the way. I mean, he can do that, and I'm not a coach. But getting him started is really important. I personally, what I would do with Najee is I would get him on some of those play actions and I would open him up because once he gets ahead of steam, it's going to take a very brave man to put his head down and stop him. I mean, so I would do that. I would try to get him in space, try to get that established, get that rhythm established. And it's the same thing I do with Kenny Pickett. Just get him in space, just get him out there, short completions, build the completion rate, and then let him rip. I saw Kenny Pickett throw that one touchdown pass running to his left, which of course is the hardest pass to make, running to the left, throwing off balance and throwing off of not his plant foot even, but throwing off of his not plant foot and throwing a strike into the end zone. That's talent. I mean, that's something that not a lot of people could do. That's
I agree with you. I also think that Kenny Pickett's best throw of the game would have iced the game, would have ended it, and would have put it on ice for good, and they would have been back home. He made a throw to Freiermuth that Freiermuth kind of dropped over the middle. Yes. That was an incredible throw. Yes. That would have given them the first down, closed it out, moved them towards midfield, that found Freiermuth's hands in between two defenders and Freiermuth will admit it, I'm sure whenever press availability, he should have caught it. That was a big boy throw across the middle of the field.
There's no question.
So I think he's growing as a passer. But I want to, the crazy part is they're 2-1. They go to Houston. They have Baltimore at home. Baltimore scuffling a little. We said this whole time, if they're 4-1 after the bye, after those 5 games, 4-1 at the bye, that's success. They've got a really good shot of being 4-1. I guess it's not. I guess people will complain about the circuitous way that they took to get there and the route that they took to get there, but there's going to be a chance they're 4-1. I
got to tell you, I think that preseason gave everybody a little bit of false confidence. And forgot that really. Because what they showed you in the preseason, obviously, it's different personnel, but they can execute. That when they want to do it, they can. And I think that I just think that if they continue to do what they did, it's just that. And I'll tell you, I think the Raiders are a better team than what you saw. I really do. I think Jimmy G, I've always liked him. I love him, actually. I like everything about him. I like the family thing. I like the talent. He wins.
Right.
When the people in San Francisco said, the players, give us Jimmy G, he wins for us, right? And they said that before they made the deal. But that just put something else in my head, though, by the way.
Tell
Because
me.
I'll tell you what it is. I am so thumbs down. On who? Not anybody in either in that game. Somebody else throughout the NFL.
Russell Wilson.
No, oh, him. I've been out on him forever.
I know you haven't liked him forever.
Yeah, I've been forever.
Hold on. Your guy that you said was good, the Jets coach.
Slay. No,
He stinks.
No, not him.
Um,
Think. I gave you hints.
Who?
I gave you hints already.
Andy Reid.
No, I like him.
Who?
Okay, here's a hint. On the front of his hat is a star.
Oh, you've not liked Dak Prescott forever. Forever. You have said whenever they tinkered with his contract and thought about it, you said this guy is the biggest bust that people think is good, and it's a joke. That's what you said. You said you don't even know if he's an NFL quarterback.
Listen, did you watch the game?
Yes, he loses his mind in big situations.
Completely. Threw that ball right to the defender, right in the end zone. 100% him. If I'm Jerry Jones, I'm sitting in the booth in the box saying, okay, where's that guy I just traded for? And that is what got me thinking about that, because that involved San Francisco too. So, yeah, I'd be developing a whole different offense right now. I'd even pull Dak right now. I'd pull him.
You have been down on him even when he was winning. You were like, he's not a guy that could take you to the top. Because I remember you said, and this was a couple years ago, you said it's like a mirage. He'll make 2 or 3 good plays, but you know the bad one's coming.
It's coming.
You have said that about him, and you've been right the whole time.
Colin, listen, do you think I'm the only one that's right? Because the owner made the deal to trade him. Or not to trade him, but to trade whatever his name is. He made the deal. He saw what he needs, and he just didn't have a backup plan, right? And so, yeah, I think that when he threw that interception in the end zone, I thought, oh, come on, man. Don't you see it yet? Get rid of that guy.
And I can't feel bad about the Cowboys ever because of their braggadocious ways, their machismo, the way that they think that they're an organization, which they're not. And they haven't reached heights in a long time.
Well, what about CD Lamb? I mean, what happened to AB? I mean, ABCD. That was funny.
I got it. He was supposed to be incredible, and he's, they have the weapons around them. I'll tell you what I have said a while since the guy took the job, and it was my pick to win the Super Bowl this year, Miami. They scored 70 points and let off the gas.
Let's talk about that.
You don't like it, do you?
No, I don't.
Why? They let off the gas.
How could they have let off the gas? They should have let off the gas at 45 or 50. But to continue to go and wow.
No.
And
it's my job to coach my team.
How about Sean Payton? Whoever thought he was great?
Drew Brees was the reason that they were good. That's it.
Yeah, but so now you have Sean Payton and Russell Wilson on the same team, and they lose. Did you see the interview in the locker room? Guy's been there 7 years. He said, I didn't come here to lose. That's all I've ever done here is lose. I'm tired of losing.
Yes.
Did you see that?
Yes.
Who said that?
Good on them. I mean, look, they thought that if you thought Russell Wilson from last year was going to, and they invested so much in him, was going to have a turnaround, if you didn't know what you had in him from last year, then the joke's on you, because he's not going to get any better at this point in his career. Okay. And the guy that replaced him is doing really well. I think he's a much better quarterback. I agree. So people complain. Then you look at Joe Burrow. What happened to him?
right? How'd you like to be the guy that wrote the $279 million check? I don't
Well,
believe in these high dollar contracts. I just don't believe in them. Because anytime you put everybody is that much emphasis on one player in this game, the speed of this game, the intensity and violence of this game, the propensity for injury is so high, especially on a quarterback. I would never pay somebody $279 million to do that.
well, then you're telling me that the way the Steelers are doing it is actually right and building on defense and hoping to score enough points each week.
I've always said that. I said at the end of the year last year, that would be my focus, defense. But, you score 35 to 40 points. I mean, and you have a strong defense. Yeah, that's a secret to success, in my opinion. Right?
We'll see if it holds up. It's going to be interesting to see if they can keep. One thing I find crazy with fans, and it's just kind of what they are. Fans want wins, and then when they get wins, they aren't happy. Like today should be celebratory. It really should. In the NFL, it should be a win is a win is a win.
And it is, but remember, we're called Monday Morning Quarterback. We get to look in the rearview mirror and complain about everything. But we're not complaining. We look at it. I mean, I can tell you that when they're watching film, they're not just saying, hey, great job, great job, great job. They're looking for the opportunities. Where's the opportunity to be better? So that's really all I'm doing, and from a layman's point of view. But it's fun as heck. I loved watching the game last night. And there's nothing better than a night with the Steeler game.
Well, I'll disagree. Here's why.
You always
disagree. Well, no, I'm going to tell you exactly why. I love the game. But from the time that I wake up at 5 a.m. on Sunday until the time that it kicks off at 8:15, it feels like a walk to the gallows. Like you're just waiting to get that call. It feels like it's 100 hours. Sunday is.
It does. Especially that last hour.
Oh.
It's brutal. I know.
And then I got to watch Chris Collinsworth's son, who's terrible on television.
I didn't know that. On what?
That's the guy, Jack Collinsworth, the stand-up guy that's on the field that's doing the pregame.
Oh, I didn't even see him. I didn't know
that. You're better for it.
So, hey, listen, we get to criticize the players and the announcers, right?
Yeah, but you know what? I'm happy right now.
Yeah.
I'm happy the Steelers are 2-1. Yeah, I really am. And I think that they showed growth in all departments, I think.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, so I think sometimes we get lost in there's no linear trajectory. It's going to go like this. But in totality, it's going up. It's headed the right way.
And remember, you're still dealing with a second-year quarterback who only started halfway through. You're dealing with a lot of new faces, whether it's the draft picks or whether it's through free agency. So, I mean, there's a lot of elements that do take time to come together. And I think last night, I saw something that really bothered me, though, and it was from Merrill Hodge.
What did he say? I didn't see this.
Yeah, he said it somewhere that he was very critical of the Steelers and said that he watched guys jogging on their routes even. They weren't hustling. Not about last night, but last week. And he said that, and it really bothered me, and I would call him out on that if I had the forum to do that. I mean, everybody loves Merrill. He's recovering and all that, and I get it. But, man, that was really out of line comment, I think.
You didn't see it? Interesting. No, I didn't see that.
We'll see if we can find it and send it to you. Yeah, it was bad. I didn't like it. It was
interesting.
You can question decisions and choices, and that's what we do. But I never question a man's integrity and say he didn't try. He didn't try because I can tell you there's 53 guys on that field that would probably give their heart in battle. And it bothered me that he said that.
Last thing I'll leave you with, what's crazy other than TJ Watt being so good? The one man we wanted to run out of town and drive to the airport was the punter, and he may be having the best season of anybody.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I think Mike pretty much put it out there. And I think Mike pretty much put it out there about Matt Canada last week, too. I don't know if you noticed that when he said, yeah, the fans are booing, we owe them. And quite frankly, I'm tired of it, too. I think that was putting him on notice that this isn't going to continue to go on. And I think it's on that. I do think it's on that it's like yes or no. You either do it or you don't. And he did it last night. So regardless of what we can say, he did it.
They were never going to lose that game. They were never. I said that last week. They were never going to lose a game where 9 million people traveled there, that they're seemingly backed into a corner. That is a Mike Tomlin special in the good way. He wins all of those kind of games. He does. He wins those games where Steeler Nation says we got to win this game. Those mark Mike Tomlin's career as wins. Games like that.
Yeah,
they always.
I'm happy for him. I really am. I'm happy for him. If nothing else, that gives us some trajectory forward. And
they need to be 4-1 at the break. They need to win their next 2, or I'm back down on this team.
Okay, so wait. So next week is Baltimore?
No, Houston.
Oh, Houston. At home?
At Houston.
At Houston. That should be a win. And then the week after that is Baltimore.
Yes, in
where?
Here. And the quarterback, again, Lamar Jackson just looked real iffy again yesterday. You've always been down on him.
I have. I mean, I'm not down on the way he runs the ball. It's his passing that leaves me suspect.
Yeah, he can't make a throw when he needs to.
Yeah. And see, I think the difference is Kenny can. I really think he can. Last couple of weeks though, he worried me. I have to be honest. He did worry me. But I think last night he proved that he can do it.
Yeah, so we'll see. They got to be 4-1 at the break, or I'm back down on them. They got to win the next 2. Really, I don't think that's too much to ask. One division game and a game against a terrible Houston team. That's not too much to ask.
Let's wait and see how it plays out, because the one thing you can't control is the worst officiating I've ever seen last night.
And no accountability. You know what? Because of replay, though, these guys are so afraid to make a call because they know that there's another layer above them.
Yeah, but you're either going to call it all the same or not call it. Even the way Crosby came down on top of Kenny Pickett, I mean, that's supposed to not be allowed, right? He's supposed to not be able to hit the quarterback like that. So, and then the Minka thing, and then the face mask and all that. I think there was a lot of inconsistency last night. Listen, I get it. It's live. You don't have some of the calls they make are unbelievably good. I get it. But the ones that stand out are the ones that are bad. But anyway, I didn't like how Crosby hit Kenny Pickett last night.
Yeah, it was bad. All right. Well,
thank you. Thank you for your Monday morning quarterback, man.
Thank you.